Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mech Spotlight. Today we're taking a look at the Mad Cat 2 Enhanced. This comes from mod author SankaraSamsara. He's the same one that does the Mechwarrior 2 remake project, which a lot of you have been asking about. That is still technically being worked on, but it's kind of on pause right now. My understanding from talking to the mod author is that he is planning on working on it again with the UE5 tools with Mechwarrior 5 clans. Once the mod tools are released for that, probably next year, hopefully early 2025. So that is still something that is planned for the future to be worked on. He needs a lot of help as well. It sounds like I mean, obviously it takes a lot of time to do a project like that, and he doesn't really have the time right now because he has to work and all that. So, anyways, that is still coming along. But he does also make all the classic mech mods, and this is one of them. I don't know that this really qualifies as a classic mech, but it's another one of his standalone mech mods that he created. So this Mad Cat Mark II Enhanced has a really interesting model to it. I like the overall look of it. The aesthetic is a little bit different than what you get with most of the standard game models. The missile pods are very unique in this case. We don't have anything else that looks like that. And then the arm cannons are just huge. These are actually lasers, not cannons. But anyways, they do point up. Just when you're in the mech bay, they're tilted down. The cockpit looks very familiar. I believe that's the same cockpit he used on another one of his models, or a very similar one, the center torso. Um, Maybe it was a catapult or something. I don't know. It looks familiar. Probably from one of the other Mad Cat models, I would guess. Anyways, cool model. Paint schemes, you don't have a lot to choose from here. They're all just kind of the same with all of his mods. Just different variations of this kind of grungy camo pattern. So I just changed the colors up, made it look nice. Cool model though. I really like it. He does get his mod, so he doesn't make the models himself. He buys the models or gets access to them from people that made 3D models for BattleTech, 3D printing BattleTech models. I think that's where they come from, most of them. And then he uses them to create the game models and just adds the animations. Really cool stuff. Let's take a look at the build. Obviously, as is the case with most of the classic mech mods, the quirks are rather lacking. Unfortunately, they would help a lot if we had like some revamped quirks on this guy. That hasn't happened yet. It is a fairly new model. He just released this one recently. So I would expect to see that sometime shortly in the future. Basically, right now we just have the clan ubiquitous, structure repair cost is reduced. Your clan quirk gives you some speed modifiers, acceleration, and also your upkeep cost modifier increases. And you have built-in case. Then you have protected actuators. This just gives you some extra armor on your legs and reduces incoming damage to structure on your legs. And that's about it. So not a lot of bonuses to work with here. Mostly we're using this one because it's a cool model. It's new. We wanted to check it out. So let's take a look. As you can see, we only have 6 weapon hardpoints plus an AMS hardpoint on this model. So you're going to be using bigger weapons rather than stacking a bunch of smaller ones. I decided to try out the ultra lasers, the Risk large ultra lasers. These come from yet another revamped weapon. I had not played with these before. In fact, I had not even seen them before until I was building this mech and looking for large energy weapons. These stood out to me, so looks like fun. We decided to try them out. Additionally, let's see. The Risk developed Ultra Laser has similar capabilities to the renowned Ultra autocannons in that it can fire a second time immediately after its initial beam ends. Unlike Ultra autocannons, the Ultra large laser doesn't have any downsides from double tapping such as jamming. Additionally, this laser has more range and accuracy than an Inner Sphere ER. This style of laser never caught on or saw further development despite its intriguing advantages. So it has a burst. You can fire a second time really quick after the first, right? It does build up a lot of heat if you do it that way. Our cooling on this mech is pretty good, but if you're going to be using that feature a lot, you will overheat, so be careful of that. On top of that, I threw on 2 ATM-12s. The Advanced Tactical Missile Launcher is a versatile missile platform with Artemis built into the system, while in the default long-range mode, missiles will fire in an arc. So, with these... So the standard ATMs kind of do more damage as you get closer. With the revamped weapons, it seems that they basically just have built-in Artemis, burst fire, target lock, indirect fire, alt firing modes. You can switch to high explosive ammo, deals 3 damage per missile and fires in a more direct flight path for close range engagements. Again, because our lasers are longer range, I really just left it on the standard fire mode, the indirect fire mode most of the time. Drops to 1.25 damage per missile beyond that range of 700 meters. So 2 damage per missile out to 700 meters, and then 1.25 damage per missile out to... That's on your standard indirect fire range, and then you can switch to the high explosive, which does 3 damage per missile. So you do get 3 different damage per missile models based on what you're using there. The 2 different ranges on the main fire mode, and then your alternate fire mode for closer range engagements. Yeah, interesting weapon. I need to play around with it some more along with the ultra lasers. I'd like to find a build where I can actually do like 4 ultra lasers. So I'm going to work on that. I just could not fit it on this mech in particular because I was fitting ATM-12s on here as well. Unfortunately, well, and then we threw ER medium lasers on there for the last 2 hard points. I needed something lightweight and longer range for this build. And then the laser AMS for missile defense. We had plenty of cooling, so I went with the laser model because I didn't really have room for ammo, as you can see. So, as far as we go for internals, I have the 360 engine core on there. This pushes us at about 72 kph. I wanted to be fast in this thing. The Mad Cat Mark II is known to be a fast mech, so I wanted to kind of stick to that. You could go with a much smaller engine, slow this thing down a lot, and probably fit more on here as far as firepower. This build is a little bit lacking in firepower. Because it is going for speed as well, and it has some decent internals. You get your ECM, you get your probe, Exchanger Mark II for the heat. But yeah, so 360 engine core, double XL engine, clan of course. Mobility gyro gives us that little bit boosted speed. We have Royal double heatsink kit for the cooling kit. Clan endo structure frees up some weight for us. In the cockpit, we have sniper sensors. Again, it's a longer range build. Advanced energy FCS. I was trying to focus more on the lasers with this build, honestly. The missiles were more for support. Although in retrospect, the missiles are a little more important than I was hoping to make them, because the lasers didn't quite pump out the damage that I was hoping for most of the time, unless you're using the double fire feature on the ultra lasers. They do, but then you still have a lot of heat buildup. We went with Evasion Retrofit and Slick Suite there as well. The probe really helps with the missiles, so I like having that on there. ECM is helpful for defensive purposes, obviously. We threw a cooling jacket in each arm to help with the cooling. You got a number of heat sinks there, double heat sinks, looks like 6 of them, plus the 4 in the engine. Gets us up to 4 cooling heat. I already mentioned the Exchanger Mark II. As far as ammo goes, it really could use a little more ATM ammo. If you could probably drop a double heatsink and add another ton of ammo for it. That would be just barely enough for most missions. If you could fit another double bin of ammo, drop the engine down to like a 350 probably. Drop a double heatsink, add another bin of ammo. I would probably do that for longer missions. If you're going in shorter missions, this probably works okay. But yeah, so just note that this particular build that you're seeing here probably doesn't have enough ammo for longer mission type. But if you're going to use this build just as a general build, or in missions where you can reload ammo or whatever, then you probably don't need to take quite as much. And the extra cooling does help, especially if you're going into hotter biomes. Playstyle, obviously you're going to be at a longer range. You do have some burst DPS, but not a ton. Right, because it's really just the 2 ultra lasers that are going to give you a little bit of burst DPS. The ER mediums are just there for backup lasers, really. and to do a little bit of extra damage on targets once you're close enough. And then, of course, ATMs, you're going to soften up targets with those ATMs from range. At close range, you can switch them to the high explosive ammo and use that to some pretty good effect. Overall, it's a pretty good build. I wanted to test out the ultra lasers. This probably wasn't the perfect mech to do that on. It would be nice to have a lot more quirks here, but you get what you get. It was just cool to play the model. I really like the model. I think it's nice to have something that's unique. Unique missile pods, unique arm mounts. It doesn't just look like it was taken off of some of the other models in the game, right? So really cool stuff. Let me know what you guys think. One last thing I'll throw in, I did create a Discord. You can find the link to my Discord in the channel info. Feel free to pop on there, share some builds that you've done or whatever, just chat with anybody else that's around. I don't check it that regularly. I work a lot during the day or during the week. So I'm not always online, but I try to check it at least once a day. I'll get in the habit of it. I'm not used to having that there. But yeah, if anybody wants to get on there and share some of their own builds or whatever, that'd be cool. So until next time, enjoy the video, and I'll catch you then.
The weather's really kicking up, Commander. Your visibility will be limited out there.
Attention. Prepare for battle.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems monitored.